revision questions for your examination. Go through the questions, revise them and make them all clear. The language which is provided here, you can write the answer in your own language also, but the meaning should be correct. So here we will go through the quick review of the chapters by going through their question and answers. So the very first question is, who discovered cells and how? In 1665, Robert Hooke discovered cells while examining a thin slice of cork, that is bark of tree, through a self-designed microscope. He observed that the cork resembled the structure of a honeycomb, consisting of numerous tiny compartments. The minuscule boxes are referred to as cells. Next one. Why is the cell called a structural and functional unit of life? Cells form the structure of an entity, that is the organism. A group of cells form a tissue, further an organ, and ultimately an organ system, the human body. They perform fundamental functions like respiration, digestion, excretion, transportation, etc. in both unicellular and multicellular entities. They perform all the activities independently. Hence, cells are referred to as structural and fundamental units of life, like the bricks in a building. Next one, how do substances like CO2 and water move in and out of the cell? Discuss. CO2, that is carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide moves by diffusion. These cellular waste accumulates in high concentrations in the cell, whereas the concentration of CO2 in the external surroundings is comparatively lower. This difference in the concentration level inside and out of the cell causes CO2 to diffuse from a region of higher, that is within the cell, to a lower concentration. So we can say that the CO2 diffuses from a region of higher concentration to a region of lower concentration. And as we talk about water, H2O diffuses by osmosis through the cell membrane, so-called plasma membrane or SPM. It moves from a region of higher concentration to a region of lower concentration through a selectively permeable membrane until equilibrium is reached. We are going through the revision of NCERT textbook question. So next one, why is the plasma membrane called a selectively permeable membrane? The plasma membrane is called as a selectively permeable membrane as it permits the movement of only a certain molecules in and out of the cells. Not all molecules are free to diffuse. So you can see in your NCERT book that there is a table given. Fill in the gaps in the following table illustrating differences between prokaryotic and eukaryotic cells. So it is a table, you can see the blanks are filled and you can find out the differences between prokaryotic cell and eukaryotic cell. So the very first, size, generally small, that is 1 to 10 micrometer. 1 micrometer stands for 10 to the power minus 6 meter. And eukaryotic cell, generally large in size, that is 5 to 100 micrometer. The nuclear region is poorly defined due to the absence of nuclear membrane and known as the nucleide. Nuclear region well defined and surrounded by a nuclear membrane. So nuclear membrane is present in eukaryotic cell and nuclear membrane is absent in prokaryotic cell. Third one, there is a single chromosome. There are more than one chromosomes. Membrane bound cell organelles absent. Membrane bound cell organelles present. That is, the membrane is present around the cell organelle which protects it, separates it from the other organelles. Next one, can you name the two organelles we have studied that contain their own genetic material? The two organelles which have their own genetic material are mitochondria and plastids. Plastids are not present in animal cells. If the organization of a cell is destroyed due to some physical or chemical influence, what will happen? In the event of any damage to cells and when revival of cell is not possible, lysosomes may burst and enzymes digest such cells. This is why lysosomes are often referred to as suicide bags, because they consume their own cells. Why are lysosomes known as suicide bags? When there is damage to the cell and when revival, that is the recovery or division, is not possible, lysosomes may burst and the enzymes digest their own cell. Consequently, lysosomes are known as suicide bags. Where are proteins synthesized inside the cell? Protein synthesis in cells take place in ribosomes. Hence, ribosomes are also referred to as protein factories. Ribosomes are particles that are found attached to the rough endoplasmic reticulum, that is the part of ER, endoplasmic reticulum. And why it is called rough endoplasmic reticulum? Because it looks rough under the microscope. That's why it is called rough endoplasmic reticulum. So regarding long answer type questions, make a comparison and write down ways in which plant cells are different from animal cells. The following table depicts the differences between plant cells and animal cells. So these are the characteristics you can see. So these are the characteristics which are present or absent in plant cell or animal cell. So the characteristic, first if we see the cell wall, it is present in plant cell but absent in animal cell. Shape of cell, distinct edges. Shape is either rectangular or square shaped. Animal cell, it may be round, cylindrical, irregular shape. Nucleus present. In animal cell also it is present, but nucleus is placed at one side in plant cell, whereas it is located at the center in the animal cell. Because the vacuoles are larger in plant cell, so that's why the nucleus is sidewise. Secondly, we talk about vacuoles. Vacuoles are large in shape in plant cells and smaller in animal cells. Lysosomes rarely present, always present. Plastids present, absent. Means plant cell, these are present plastids because here only chloroplast, chromoplast and leucoplast is there, which help in the photosynthesis. And plants can make their food, but animals cannot make. So that's why plastids are absent in animal cell. Structure of vacuoles, as I told you, these are large in shape. Large vacuoles are present in plant cell, but whereas the vacuoles are small shaped in animal cell, or some may lack also. Next is, how is prokaryotic cell different from a eukaryotic cell? So the following are the differences as you can see in the table. Prokaryotic cell and eukaryotic cell. The size of prokaryotic cell is generally small, that is 1 to 10 micrometer. 1 micrometer means 10 to the power minus 6 meter. And eukaryotic cells, these are generally large, that is 5 to 100 micrometer. The nuclear region is not well defined. And why it is not well defined? Because nuclear membrane is not present around the nucleus. But in eukaryotic cell, nuclear region is well defined because nuclear membrane is present around the nucleus, which protects it and also helps in the in and out of the materials. There is a single chromosome in prokaryotic, but in eukaryotics there are more than one. Membrane bound cell organelles absent. But if we talk in eukaryotic cell, membrane bound cell organelles are present. Means cell organelles are enclosed by layering, so called membrane. What would happen if the plasma membrane ruptures or breaks down? If plasma membrane ruptures or breaks down, then molecules of some substances will freely move in and out of the cells, means germs may enter or any toxic material may enter. As plasma membrane acts as a mechanical barrier, exchange of material from its surroundings through osmosis or diffusion in a cell won't take place. Consequently, the cell would die due to the disappearance of the protoplasmic material which is filled in the cell. What will happen to the life of a cell if there was no Golgi apparatus? The Golgi apparatus consists of stacks of membrane bound vesicles, cylindrical like, whose functions are as follows: storage of substances, packaging of substances, and manufacture of substances. Without the Golgi apparatus, the cells will be disabled from packing and dispatching materials that were produced by the cells. The Golgi apparatus is also involved in the formation of cells. Hence, in the absence of Golgi apparatus, cells will not be produced. Which organelle is known as the powerhouse of the cell and why? So which organelle is that? That is mitochondria, because it manufactures energy in the form of ATP molecule. Correct? Yeah. So we will go through the answer. Mitochondria are known as the powerhouse of the cell. It is because it releases the energy required for different activities of life by the cell and by the human body. Mitochondria releases energy in the form of ATP molecules, that is adenosine triphosphate, essential for numerous chemical activities of life. Numerous means number of. Hence, ATP is often referred to as energy currency of the cell. Actually, ATP gets stored, and when we need energy, it is got broken down, decomposition reaction is done. It is broken into ADP and phosphate, and then energy is used by the cell. And about this we will come to know more in our next class and then our further studies. Where do lipids and proteins consisting the cell membrane get synthesized? Lipids and proteins are synthesized in the endoplasmic reticulum and mainly in the SER, that is smooth endoplasmic reticulum. Next one, how does an amoeba obtain its food with the help of its arm-like structure pseudopodia? Correct, huh? Yeah. So we will go through the answer. Through the process of endocytosis, an amoeba obtains its food. So by which process it is obtaining its food? That process is so called endocytosis. The process of obtaining food by amoeba is called endocytosis. As its cell membrane is flexible enough, food particles are engulfed, means intaken, forming a food vacuole, girdling it, which is assisted by the pseudopodia, the arms of amoeba. Amoeba secretes digestive enzymes to bring about digestion of the engulfed particle once food is trapped. Means the pseudopodia, the arms, capture the food, and as the food gets in, vacuole is formed, and then it is assimilated and the nutrients are absorbed by the cytoplasm, and then waste material is excreted out. So this is what we talked about, how does an amoeba obtain its food. So as we can see in the diagram here, nucleus at the center, we can see food particle when comes, pseudopodia, it captures it, and then vacuole gets formed, and then next in the third step you can see the food is broken down and the nutrients are absorbed in the cytoplasm, and then the fifth step, the excretion, the removal of waste material, that is done. So first is ingestion, then digestion, absorption, assimilation, and egestion. So I think so the digestion in amoeba is also clear to you, and how amoeba obtains its food, that is also clear. Next we will go through what is osmosis. The process of movement of water molecule from a region of higher concentration to a region of lower concentration through a semi-permeable membrane which is having tiny holes on it is known as osmosis. Which type of cell division is required for growth and repair of body, and which type is involved in the formation of gametes? So the answer is there are two ways in which a cell divides. We studied about, that is mitosis and meiosis. Mitosis is the type of cell division that is involved in the growth and repair of the body, whereas meiosis is a type of cell division which results in the formation of gametes. So the growth and repair of the body is involved in mitosis and the formation of gametes is involved in meiosis.